Hi everybody, Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is what I'll be making today. It's a little treat holder. If I open it up, inside I've got a coffee bag, I've got chocolate biscuit, I've got some whitener, and I've got some sugar, all ready to give to a friend who likes coffee. And I can think of one right off the top of my head who absolutely loves her coffee, so she may be getting this. I was inspired to make this by this. This is a chocolate box. It was our wedding anniversary recently, and this was one of the things that my husband gave me on our wedding anniversary day, and I really like the shape of it. So I thought I'll go ahead and I'll see if I can reproduce it, and this is what I came up with. These are the things that I used today. I used Call Me Clover card. Now, Call Me Clover is one of the new in colours that you're going to be able to get from the 1st of June. I had some scraps of Whisper White and again a scrap of Call Me Clover. I used some of the in colour DSP. The new in colour DSP, which is again, it's going to be in the new catalogue. I actually needed 3 pieces of this because it comes in 6x6, but I had quite a few scraps left over, so it wasn't too bad. I used Versamilk ink and white embossing powder. I also used Call Me Clover ink, stamped with Coffee Cafe stamps, and I did some die cutting with the coffee cups framelets. So here are the measurements for the treat pouch, and I'll leave them up on screen just for a few seconds so that you can pause the video and jot them down, or if you prefer you can hop on over to my blog because I will be putting this diagram there as well. This piece is 7.5 by 5 inches, and I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch and again at 1.5 inches. And I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to score again at 1/2 inch and at 1.5 inches, and then one more time 1/2 inch and 1.5 inches. I need to put in some partial score lines now, so I'm going to turn my card around so that the long edge that is scored is to my left. And I'm going to be scoring at 4 inches between these 2 lines. So to help me see what I'm doing, I'm going to line my ruler up, and I'm just going to find that 4-inch mark, line my ruler up against it, and I'm going to score there, and I'm also going to score here. This piece of card is 4.5 by 7, and I'm going to make a score line at 4 inches, and that's all I need to do to score this piece. I want a nice smooth curve on the front of my treat pouch, so to help me achieve that, I've drawn myself a circle of the size that I think is going to work nicely with this, and this happens to be a 7.5 centimetre diameter circle. I drew it with this handy gadget, but you could use a bowl to trace round, a saucepan lid, anything that you've got that is about the right size for you. So I put some tear and tape onto the reverse of the card here, and I'm just going to start that going if the backing wants to come off. So I'm going to take that halfway, because I'm now going to line my card up with the edges of the circle so that both of those corners are just touching the circle. And I'm going to take the tear and tape away, and this is now going to be stuck to my template, my circle, which I have just drawn on a piece of scrap paper. Okay, because this is going to be almost a sacrificial piece. Okay. So this neat little gadget also cuts circles as well as being a compass. So I've got my cutting blade and I'm just cutting along that circle. and there you go. I want the curve on this flap to match the curve on my pouch, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line the two pieces up so that I'm just on the cardboard there, and when I'm happy, take my pencil, and now I can either take a craft knife or my trusty snips, and I can just cut along that line. And if it seems a little bit irregular, I can just take a nail file and just rub along that edge, and that will make it nice and silky smooth. I want to cover this flap with my piece of paper, which I have cut to 4 1/4 by 2 1/4, but I want the curve to match. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the paper over so that I've got the wrong side showing, and I'm going to line it up on this side where I want it to be, and I'm just going to keep that in place and take a pencil, and I'm just going to trace that curve. And all I need to do is to take my snips and curve my paper just like that, and this should now fit nicely onto the front panel. Finished most of the score lines. The only ones I haven't done are the partial ones. So now I'm going to cut away these 3 little skinny bits in the corner here and in the corner here, and I'm going to cut up this line as far as the place where my score lines cross, and I'm just going to kind of mitre my edges there. So I'm just going to slip my way along there and along there, and I'm just going to free up that flap and just take off some little skinny slivers and a little skinny sliver along the top there, and I'm going to do the same to this side. And as far as there, and just taking away a little bit of card so that it will all fit together more smoothly. Alright, so now I'm going to train up these folds here. So I've got my finger behind this score, and I'm just going to pinch at the top there. And actually, one thing I'm going to do to make it easier, I'm just going to snip up, just clip up as far as that line, and I'll do the same on this side. It'll all be stuck back together, and the pouch goes together anyway. It just makes it a little bit easier for that corner to form there. And if I'd wanted to, I could have gone in with my ruler and kind of pre-scored where those points are going to be, but I decided today I'm going to live dangerously, and I'm just going to let it all happen. I have tear and tape on my edges. I'm just going to take the backing away, and I'm going to start by lining my pieces up just like that. Put that down. Then these flaps tuck in. These pieces stay out. And of course I could have put the tape on the other side of these flaps, and normally I would, so that they were tucked away inside my pouch, but I'm going to cover the back with some DSP anyway, so all of these mechanics, if you like, all of these workings will be hidden. And there we go. So I have my last piece of DSP, which is 4 1/4 inches square. Put adhesive on the back of it. And that is going to go over the top like that, like so. And there is my treat pouch, ready to have a treat put inside. And all I need to do now is to decorate it. So let's do a little bit of stamping. I've got my stamp mounted up onto my clear block. It says "Life happens, coffee helps." I've got my die cut little piece of Call Me Clover, and I'm giving it a nice dusting with my embossing ready. So loading up my stamp with Versamark, lots of light tapping. I don't know why I'm holding the tweezers in my hand, I should put them down. Okay, now because this is a clear stamp, I can see where I'm stamping. I could get out my stamp apparatus, but you know what, I think this is going to be close enough. So I've got a silicone mat underneath. Some people prefer to use a piercing mat. I find silicone mat works great for me. And if I take that away, I can see that I've got a nice coverage of Versamark. So I'm going to pick this up and pop it into my white embossing powder. And got some powder where I don't want it there. So I've got a little brush. And I'm just going to clear that away. Maybe a little touch more around the ear there. No. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so I've got my heat gun. I'm going to turn it on to get nice and warm. I'm going to put it on the high speed, and I'm going to heat emboss this little piece of card. So I'll go turn the sound down. I cut out the cup in Whisper White, and I want to stamp the outline in the green ink. And I've die cut out the cup shape in Whisper White, and I want to overstamp it with this piece, which will give me the outline of the cup. Now, this is a big open space in the middle of this stamp, which means that it could distort quite easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up over my cup, just like this. And when I'm happy with it, which is about now, I'm going to come in with my stamp, my clear block, and I'm just going to pick that up on the clear block. So now I can bring in my Call Me Clover ink, and I can line that up, and I'm going to try and not get my head in the shot. I'm sorry if I do, but I'm trying to get a good view of it, and I'm just going to press that down. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pull that off. And yeah, that's not too bad. I'm reasonably happy with that. So now my Life Happens coffee helps goes on top of it like this. And where's my glue? It's wandered off again. There it is. And while I was at it, I cut out the cup lid in Call Me Clover and overstamped it in Call Me Clover ink. And I'm just going to clean up my stamp on my marvellous new Stampin' Chamois. Okay, and yes, it will get stained, but it'll still work. Okay, so okay, so there's going to be a lot of editing going on around about here. A lot of Stampin' Chamois washing. And where's my... Where bally hell of my... Where the bits go? I don't know. Okay, put those on one side then. So we are nearly finished. I've put some dimensionals onto the top part, and only the top part, of my little cup. I'm just going to take the backing off of them, and I'm going to put that at a jaunty sort of angle onto my pouch there. And to close the pouch and to keep it closed, I'm going to use some hook and loop fasteners. So I'm just going to stick that onto the back of the cup there and close that up and press it into place, and then carefully open that up again while the adhesive has time to get comfortable. And now I can put my treats in here. So I've got biscuit, and I've got my coffee, which by coincidence nicely matches the colour of the pouch, and I've got some sugar and some coffee whitener. Okay, there we go. Close that up, and there is my lovely little treat pouch ready to give to a friend. And that's it for today, and thank you very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do go ahead and leave me a comment or click that like button below. It really does help me. But for now, once again, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.